trying to make his way over towards the 110. LAPD on the ground was having trouble keeping up with this guy, and the spotlight, the helicopter was having trouble locating this guy as well. But we are eastbound on the 10 headed through through downtown LA. LAPD wants to try to get this reckless driver to pull over, but nothing doing so far, Pat and Juan.
All right, now Desmond, do we know if there is you say this person, if there's one person in this car, what kind of car it is, any other background information, whether it's a stolen vehicle or not?
With no information on how many people are in the car right now. I think this is a Honda. I'm just going from the backlights here. Might be a Honda Civic. So just kind of a normal economy car, but he's driving it like it's a Ferrari. The way he's going, kind of zigging and zagging all over the place. Really high speed, sudden braking. Maybe a Honda Accord. It's definitely going to be a Honda here, but he just got himself through some really, really heavy traffic. And you saw how he just clipped through, or trying to blast through some of those vehicles. You see LAPD there on surface streets. They're trying to get units in position, but they're really having trouble keeping up with this crazy driver. As we head towards the Eastdale interchange, I'm just trying to look ahead and see what the traffic situation is like. It looks like it's going to be fairly light conditions for this driver as he heads to the East LA interchange.
Interesting, it's never the case when someone has to go through downtown LA, especially through the interchange. Traffic is usually very heavy in that area, but as we can see here, 72, 75 miles an hour right now. This driver wanted for reckless driving, and as Desmond was telling us, Pat, here, we've just witnessed in the short few minutes that we've had this on the air here, that he's been making some crazy moves there.
In fact, I believe Desmond said that he clipped a couple of cars. Desmond, is that right? You said he clipped more than one car?
It sure looked like it as he was trying to squeeze through and get over that little median that divides the collector lanes between the 110, the lanes that lead to the 110, and the actual lanes of the 10. It sure looked like he made contact with at least a couple of vehicles. And yeah, Juan, you were talking about the lighter conditions here, and it's kind of trying to think in my head, which is safer right now, if it's going to be lighter conditions or heavier, because this guy is not slowing down in heavier conditions. We see him going 30, 40 miles an hour on the right-hand shoulder if he has the opportunity. So ironically, this might be a little bit safer for the public, but here you see LAPD, now they're beginning to catch up and try to pull a last-second maneuver here and get off the freeway here, or merge. This might take us towards the 5, so let's see which way this person goes.
Is he getting back on?
As they are trying, it's kind of complicated here around the Eastdale interchange. You have lanes that lead kind of to exits, but also can be through lanes. So we're right by the Eastdale interchange. I believe we're going to be headed towards the 5 right now, or yeah, I believe this lane's going to go to the southbound side of the 5 as we head through East LA. So on our way towards Boyle Heights in the city of Commerce now.
You know what's interesting in watching this guy? I mean, just when you think that he's about to get to the to the right, then he seems to be driving like he doesn't necessarily have full control of the car sometimes. I mean, I guess that's where the reckless comes in, because then he veers to the left sometimes, right? It's very strange, but makes you wonder if there's, besides the recklessness, which we won't know obviously until they either catch this guy or ask him questions and see exactly why he's driving the way that he's driving. He's now going, is he on the 5 now? He is on the 5 freeway in Boyle Heights. He was on the 10, and now making these wide, this is interesting, going between these two cars here. He keeps going back and forth.
Yep, and traffic is a little heavier than what we've seen over the last few nights when it's come to pursuits we've covered here on KCAL9. Traffic definitely a lot heavier, a lot more people out there, and a driver with some very crazy maneuvers behind the wheel. And
as far as we know, right now, this person is wanted for reckless driving. Don't have any more information than that. And of course, Des and Juan, I mean, we have seen in the last week or so that officers, the CHP in particular, doing just some moves that we would never expect in terms of spike strips or what have you. And that was, of course, with that bigger than that truck, that 18-wheeler. But certainly wasn't moving as fast as this vehicle, which I imagine, Des, would make it maybe a little more difficult unless they knew exactly where he was going to approach.
Yeah, definitely. The nature of this pursuit is much, much different than that crazy marathon pursuit we had, last week. That one was that semi going 40 miles an hour, keeping it to the right lanes almost the whole time. Here we've got someone who's done, more lane changes in 5 seconds than that other driver did in 6 hours, and he's going more than twice the speed, about 75, 80 miles an hour, all over the place, acting like he's going to get off of the freeway and then cutting back at the last second. It's a very common maneuver from especially desperate suspects. And you mentioned, Pat, that it looked like he was kind of losing control at moments, and I don't think you're wrong. I mean, these cars are not meant to be driven this way. He's really driving this like a sports car, but this is just a Honda Accord, a Honda Civic, front-wheel drive car, probably a 4-cylinder car.
Yeah,
doesn't
gonna ruin
have
his
the kind
shocks.
of handling capabilities, for the way that he's driving it. So you definitely in danger of, losing control at any moment as we made our transition from the southbound 5 now to the southbound 710. So now we're trending down towards the city of Long Beach.
All right, we want to show our viewers a replay. Pat, take a look at this. This is earlier when it looks like he almost clipped 2 cars. Here you're looking at it right there. And look how close he gets through there, just weaving his way through that heavier traffic, wanting to get away, as Desmond was telling us earlier, making its the way over there into that median slash shoulder there before getting away. So there are some cars left in his wake, apparently, that have some damage as well.
And it certainly makes you wonder if this is reckless driving. Why is this person going through all those maneuvers and possibly clipping vehicles to get away from police officers? That's the million-dollar question at this point. And Desmond, I imagine LAPD still on the wheels of this driver?
Yes, it's still going to be LAPD last I saw, as well as their helicopter overhead. But now that we've been on freeways for a while, there's a pretty good chance that CHP is going to be taking over. We'll see what ends up happening with that, if they at least bring in their helicopter or if they bring in any of their ground units. But this continues to be LAPD. I'm hearing about them. I'm hearing them calling out freeway exits here on their scanner frequencies. And yeah, you ask, why is this person running? Does he have a rap sheet? Is this going to be, essentially his 3rd strike or something? Is he going to be going away for a while? Or do they really think that they can get away from the cops? A lot of people just assume that once a pursuit starts, that it always ends with the suspect, getting into custody, and that is not the case. There's usually about a 5-minute period right in the beginning of a pursuit that's kind of a dangerous time or rather I should say an opportunistic time for the suspect, that they get away if the police do not have a helicopter overhead or
all right, we
more eyes.
Oh, there we go.
As we come to
now is he slowing down here?
All of us, yeah, we sure are. All of a sudden, slowing way down here on the southbound 710. Wondering if he's having car issues here. Just maybe he might have driven this car a little too hard or popped a tire. Could have very easily popped a tire with what he was doing earlier on the 10 around the 110. But it sure seems like this car is getting ready to shut down. I'm wondering if maybe it's equipped with some kind of security thing to bring it to a stop. But we'll see if this will be the end of it, as we're coming to a stop here on the southbound side of the 710 with LAPD right behind.
And I wonder what they would.
Yeah, go ahead, Pat.
Wait, obviously, let this sort of ride itself out, and hopefully he will come to a complete stop and put his hands out the car, throw his keys out the window.
Yeah, look at that. Speeds are definitely slowing down. He's moving over to the shoulder, so that's a good thing there. And what a difference from just a minute or so ago when he was weaving through traffic, zigzagging all over the place, clipping 2 cars there, trying to get away from police. Now coming to a very slow pursuit, 6-7 miles an hour right now, with the LAPD and possibly even the CHP in tow.
Yeah, what's going on up ahead, Desmond? If you can widen your shot out a little bit, I'm just a little interested. He looks like he's
super light traffic in front of us here, and CHP is running a traffic break. Actually, we know that CHP they just got on the freeway to actually slow traffic down so they can slow all this traffic ahead of them, so that you don't have a wall of traffic going 70 miles an hour all of a sudden drive into this situation. So this is going to begin to slow down traffic for sure on the southbound side of the 710 as we just continue to kind of creep closer to a stop, but still not completely at a stop. I'm starting to think that the car just maybe conked out on him here. I don't think he has any flat tires. We can't see on this side anyway that he has any flat tires. And we certainly know that having flat tires does not stop suspects in the past. So here we are now at a complete stop. LAPD, plenty of units out with guns drawn. And let's see if this suspect decides to continue to resist, or hopefully we're going to see some hands. There we go.
There we go.
Wow, that was fast.
Yeah. Yeah, it happened really quickly.
Okay.
And
we'll see when he gets completely out of the vehicle.
Yeah, so they're definitely shouting commands at him to come, keep his hands up. There you go. Drop.
Okay, keys are down.
Not sure what that was in his hand. Yeah, I don't think those were keys. Not sure. Some kind of cylindrical object, it looks like.
Vape pen or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, possibly something like that. So just telling him to comply, keep his hands up, don't make any sudden movements, and to come walk backwards. Might be asking him to get down on the pavement on his stomach. But this looks like this is going to be the end of it. So now it'll just be a question of if there's any other people in the vehicle.
Yeah, and those windows were so dark, we certainly couldn't see through there with the tent.
Super dark tints, and he never lowered the window either.
Yeah,
are they asking him to get on his knees? Because he seems to be having some difficulty.
Some of these suspects really have trouble following directions. We know that, Pat, that even after they decide to give up, they still act perplexed as to what exactly they're supposed to do, and LAPD is giving them very, very clear instructions. So I'm sure there's a little adrenaline running through his veins right now from the way he was driving earlier. So maybe that's further clouding his judgment. But here we go, getting on his knees and going to lay down on his stomach on the pavement.
Yeah. The pants look kind of baggy too if you look right there. Might be that too. It might be just be some baggy sweatpants. He's having trouble keeping them up.
Trouble moving.
Yeah.
Oh well. Well, this was probably going to be
his belt today.
Yeah, or something, something along those lines. So, a lot to unpack for law enforcement in terms of exactly what that is he threw out of the car and why he was driving so recklessly. And I don't know, even he looked a bit agitated when they tried to get him out of the car in the first place, or ask him to get out. Like, Yeah.
And he doesn't want police to think that whatever he was holding in his hand could possibly be a weapon. So whatever he had in his hand, he threw it out. You see it right there by the back driver's side rear tire there.
But normally though we see police approach
a lot sooner,
quickly.
right?
Desmond, right? I mean, he's been on the ground, but they haven't come forward yet.
Yeah, I think the issue is, those tinted windows, which we always seem to see. Nearly 100% of the pursuit vehicles have extremely tinted windows, and and they're always like those really, really dark limousine tints. I mean, you can't see through the back window, so they're still not certain that if there's anyone else in the vehicle right there. So they're going to take it cautiously. Here we go. They're going to have 4 officers approach just to be certain, and hopefully they're going to open the door and wave the 4 fingers for code 4 all clear, and then put this suspect in cuffs and take him away to jail, and that'll be the end of this.
All right, just heard from a former CHP friend of ours that that guy probably ran out of gas. That's why.
Interesting. All right.
The vehicle stopped.
Yep. Yep. There you go. Actually, didn't even think about that, but maybe an inopportune time to get into a pursuit. It seems like a lot of times we have these pursuits where they seem to be on a full tank of gas, or the one we had last week with the semi that went on forever and ever, even though he only had a half a tank. That was enough to go 1,000 miles.
Surprised us. A half a tank of gas and 15 blown out tires, and he still went for 12 hours.
Went all the way to Orange County. Yeah.
Oh yeah. We'll never forget that one. But an inopportune time to get into a pursuit, I suppose, if ever there was one, to go. When the tank is running on fumes.
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to pop the trunk just to give the all clear on the car there, but the suspect now in handcuffs in police custody. So as we like to say, most likely a code 4 here, right? Once they open up that trunk, they just pop the trunk, so that looks good.
But they've got him in handcuffs.
Indeed.
Okay, Des. Well,
Thank you.
We will be talking with you a little later. In the meantime, we always love to see those great cityscape shots from you for Evelyn's weather. I guess she won't get it right now, though. That's because we know that Des.
He's a little busy.
He was on the 710 freeway.
A little busy.
So,
yeah. Yep. He's got his hands tied.
Yeah, he does.
or it.
So does the
camera.
suspect.
Yes, yeah, he's got his hands tied, that's for sure. All right, let's get a look at our forecast. Today's highs, I mean record highs. We smashed them. Anaheim, 95, Santa Ana, 92, Oxnard, 92, Camarillo.